Welcome to today's session on innovative practices for sustainable development. Let's start with a simple yet powerful concept: innovation. Innovation means turning new ideas into practical solutions. It is not just about inventing something new, it's about making that invention useful, impactful, and applicable in real life. In other words, it's invention with a purpose. Over the past 250 years, human progress has been shaped by 5 major waves of technological change, each transforming society in significant ways. The first wave began around 1780, driven by the textile industry and the steam engine. And then second wave brought us railways, steel, and electricity, expanding industries and connecting cities. And third wave introduced chemicals and the internal combustion engine, leading to modern transport and industrial production. And fourth wave focused on electronics and aviation, giving rise to global communication and air travel. And finally, the fifth wave, which we are currently experiencing, is marked by rapid advances in microelectronics, information technology, biotechnology, and the development of eco-friendly materials. But innovation today must do more than just drive economic growth or efficiency. It must also be sustainable, meaning it should enhance our quality of life without harming the environment or compromising the well-being of future generations. This means promoting innovation that is locally appropriate, meets real human needs, and supports long-term development goals. In this unit, we'll explore how innovation, when guided by sustainability and local context, can play a transformative role in development. By the end of this session, you should be able to do 4 important things. These goals aren't just for exams, they'll help you think better about real-life challenges and how innovation can improve people's lives. First, you'll understand the role of innovation in sustainable development. That means learning how new ideas and technologies can help solve today's problems without harming the future. It's about making progress that lasts and benefits everyone. Second, you'll be able to explain how innovation works in industrial technology. We'll explore how factories and industries use new tools, machines, and processes to work faster, smarter, and more sustainably. Third, you'll learn to describe rural and indigenous innovations. These are creative solutions developed by local people, especially in villages, using traditional knowledge and available resources in smart ways. Fourth, you'll evaluate how different sectors, like health, farming, education, and energy, are using innovation to improve people's lives. Innovation isn't just about science, it's about improving how we live every day. These 4 learning goals will help you connect technology with human needs and show how combining science with local wisdom can lead to real change. Special emphasis is given to blending scientific methods with local knowledge so that solutions are practical, meaningful, and truly sustainable. Now, let's begin by looking at how innovation works in industry. In many places, industries depend on heavy machinery, skilled workers, and outside investment or capital. These technologies are powerful, but they're often large-scale and expensive. On the other hand, we have artisanal or traditional technologies. These rely on local materials and local skills, often passed down through generations. They are usually simple, community-based, and low-cost. But they also face real challenges, like limited production capacity and outdated tools. So, what's the way forward? The answer is not choosing one over the other, but blending the best of both systems. This kind of synergy is essential for sustainable production. Innovation happens when we combine modern systems with traditional ones, creating a powerful mix that supports sustainable growth and everyday solutions. One strong example of this idea comes from Mahatma Gandhi. He supported small-scale, village-based models. His vision was for production systems that were efficient, local, and community-focused. Today, we can see that vision in action. For example, in Himachal Pradesh, small industries now use microprocessor-based fruit processing units. These are simple, automated machines that help farmers process their own produce, right there in the village. The results? Less transportation, lower energy use, and more local jobs. This example shows us something important. Innovation doesn't always have to be high-tech to make a big impact. What really matters is whether the technology is appropriate, affordable, and useful for the people who need it. Next, let's explore another important part of sustainable innovation: reusing and recycling. Recycling and reuse are powerful ways to reduce waste, save energy, and protect our natural resources. Today, many everyday items, like kitchen waste, old clothes, electronics, and even construction debris, are being reused in creative and impactful ways. For example, food waste can be turned into compost. Old clothes, they can be transformed into roofing felt. Even broken tiles or ceramics are now used in roadwork and construction. There are also some advanced innovations, like recovering mercury and aluminum from fluorescent lamps, or recycling metal parts from old water pumps. Each of these steps supports a circular economy, where waste is transformed into valuable resources. This not only protects the environment, it also reduces the need to dig up new raw materials. Now, let's shift our focus to agriculture and forestry, two essential sectors in many developing countries. Agriculture is the backbone of most Asian economies. The Green Revolution brought major improvements in crop yield, but it also led to serious problems like soil degradation and water stress. Now, a new approach is taking shape, one that combines traditional farming wisdom with modern scientific techniques. This new model includes using organic farming methods, promoting biodiversity, and adopting sustainable practices like crop rotation and mixed farming. This combination helps protect the soil, conserve water, and support long-term productivity, while also emphasizing the role of biodiversity in ensuring lasting sustainability. Next, let's take a closer look at biotechnology's role in modern farming. Biotechnology in agriculture includes genetically modified crops, like Bt cotton, which are resistant to pests. These crops reduce the need for chemical pesticide and fertilizer. Techniques like integrated pest management, or IPM, and the use of biofertilizer also help protect the soil. But biotech isn't just for crops, it also plays a big role in animal husbandry and fish farming. For example, improved poultry breeds and disease-resistant fish varieties are now available, thanks to advances in biotechnology. This leads to higher yields, better quality, and a lower impact on the environment. Now, let's explore agroforestry, where farming and trees work hand in hand. Agroforestry means planting trees alongside farming, and sometimes even with livestock. But it's not just about growing trees. It's about creating an integrated system that offers multiple benefits for farmers, the soil, and the environment. For example, trees like neem and babul improve soil quality, provide shade, and offer useful materials like firewood and timber. Their leaves naturally enrich the soil, reducing the need for chemical fertilizer. These trees also provide fodder for animals, making the entire system more productive. As a result, agroforestry helps protect the land, increase long-term productivity, and make farming more sustainable. Now, let's look at how traditional beliefs and practices can help us conserve forests through a concept called ethnoforestry. Ethnoforestry refers to traditional, community-based ways of protecting forests. It draws on cultural and religious beliefs to conserve nature, making it deeply connected to local customs and spiritual values. In many parts of India, certain forests or trees are considered sacred. People believe that cutting them down would bring misfortune, so they remain untouched for generations. These sacred groves and trees, left undisturbed because of their spiritual significance, become safe havens for rare plants, birds, and animals. In fact, they serve as biodiversity hotspots and important wildlife refuges. Communities also plant native trees, like mawa, jamun, and mango, not just for food or income, but also for their cultural and traditional value. Ethnoforestry clearly shows how traditional practices can support long-term conservation, sometimes offering stronger protection than formal rules. Next, we'll explore how innovation becomes stronger when entire communities get involved. Let's look at community participation in development. Innovation works best when communities take an active role and are directly involved in the process. That's why community participation is so important for sustainable development. When local people help plan, build, and manage projects, they take ownership, leading to better results, lasting impact, and stronger local economies. Empowered communities drive real, long-term progress. There are several successful community-based models, such as clusters of small producers, village cooperatives, and eco-villages or bio-villages. These approaches combine teamwork, shared resources, and local leadership to solve problems and improve lives. Together, they help communities boost livelihoods, solve challenges, and build resilience from the ground up. So, now it's clear that empowered communities are the true drivers of real and lasting change. Now, let's begin with clusters and see how small producers create big impact together. Clusters are groups of small producers who work together, sharing tools, skills, and knowledge. By collaborating, they reduce costs, improve quality, and stay competitive, even in global markets. One powerful example is the diamond processing cluster in Surat. Here, thousands of families run small units using simple, low-cost tools to polish diamonds. Though each unit is small, their combined output is massive and world-class in quality. Clusters also help preserve traditional skills while introducing modern techniques. This creates jobs, boosts incomes, and strengthens local economies. Now, let's explore another successful model, village cooperatives. Village cooperatives are groups where producers themselves own and manage the business. These producer-owned models take charge of everything, from production and training to marketing and distribution. The best-known example is AMUL, the dairy cooperative from Gujarat. It ensured fair prices, improved milk collection, and gave farmers access to training and modern techniques. By organizing small producers into a cooperative, AMUL built a reliable system that benefited everyone involved. This success story eventually inspired Operation Flood, India's massive dairy movement, which made the country self-sufficient in milk production. Today, cooperatives like AMUL show that innovation isn't just about machines or technology. It's also about building fair, people-centered systems, where communities work together and share the benefits. Next, we'll explore a more holistic model, bio-villages or eco-villages. Bio-villages, also called eco-villages, are communities that manage their natural and human resources in a smart, sustainable way. They grow their own food, use clean energy sources, and recycle waste to minimize environmental impact. These villages focus on self-reliance. Homes are often built using eco-friendly materials that are better for both people and the planet. For example, they might use solar panels for electricity, biogas for cooking, and collect rainwater for irrigation. The use of renewable resources, like solar energy and rainwater harvesting, helps reduce dependence on external supplies. Waste is reused or composted, reducing pollution and lowering costs. The result? Healthier people, cleaner surroundings, and stronger local economies. Eco-villages show us that development doesn't have to harm the environment, it can actually protect it. Next, let's explore how innovation is transforming access to two vital resources, water and energy. Water and energy are the foundation of daily life, but both are becoming increasingly scarce. Across India, freshwater is not equally distributed. Some regions have too much, while others face serious droughts. At the same time, traditional energy sources, like coal and oil, pollute the air and worsen climate change. That's why we need innovative, sustainable solutions for both water and energy. Communities across the country are already taking action. They're using low-cost, eco-friendly methods that make a big difference. Let's begin with one such solution, rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is a simple and effective way to solve water shortages, especially in rural areas. One successful model comes from Astra, an organization working in the peninsular regions of India. Here's how it works. Rainwater is collected in village ponds. The water then passes through sand and charcoal filters to remove impurities. Next, it's directed underground to recharge aquifers, helping boost groundwater levels. This process provides clean water for farming, even during dry seasons. It's low cost, eco-friendly, and completely community-driven. Now, let's take a look at some traditional water systems that have stood the test of time. Across India, traditional communities have created water systems that are smart, efficient, and sustainable. These indigenous methods use local knowledge, natural materials, and community effort. In Meghalaya, people use a unique bamboo drip irrigation system. It carries spring water over long distances through narrow bamboo pipes. The pipes slow down the flow, delivering just the right amount of water to crops like betel and pepper. In Spiti, a cold desert in the north, kul systems are used. These are stone channels that guide glacier water into storage tanks. They are managed by the community and have been preserved for generations. These examples show how traditional practices can solve modern problems without harming the environment. Next, we'll explore how innovation is making energy cleaner and more accessible. Innovation in energy doesn't always mean giant power plants or expensive grids. It can also mean small, clean, local solutions that work for villages and communities. For example, solar photovoltaic panels provide electricity for lighting and irrigation. Solar thermal units use sunlight to boil water or power turbines. Biogas digesters convert cow dung into clean cooking gas and lighting fuel. In cities, CNG, or compressed natural gas, runs public buses and reduces air pollution. And in rural areas, agricultural waste like straw or sawdust is pressed into pellets and burned in smokeless stoves called segadi. These innovations are practical, affordable, and eco-friendly. They reduce fuel costs, cut pollution, and make communities energy independent. Now let's explore how technology is helping bridge the gap between rural and urban India through information and communication technology. Information and communication technology, or ICT, is transforming how rural communities access services, knowledge, and support. From land records to healthcare, ICT is making systems faster, smarter, and more transparent. One powerful example is the CART project in Andhra Pradesh. It computerized land records, helping rural citizens get documents quickly, without corruption or delay. In Maharashtra, telemedicine connects remote clinics with top hospitals. Doctors in cities guide treatments using video calls and digital reports. X-rays, ECGs, and lab tests are sent electronically, saving time, money, and lives. Then there's Tara Haat, a digital platform that offers crop prices, weather updates, online banking, and government services in local languages. ICT puts power in the hands of rural people, empowering them to take charge of their future. Let's now wrap up with a quick summary of everything we've learned. Innovation isn't always about complex machines or high-tech labs. Sometimes, it's as simple as a bamboo pipe, a solar panel, or a village compost pit. What really matters is this: the innovation must be useful, affordable, and sustainable. When modern science works with traditional knowledge, and when local people lead the change, real progress becomes possible. In this unit, we've explored innovation across key sectors: industry, agriculture and forestry, water and energy, and information technology. In each case, we saw how innovation is improving lives, especially when guided by sustainability and local needs. So, sustainable development is not a dream, it's a choice. If we innovate wisely, act locally, and work together, a better future and sustainable development is possible for everyone. That's the end of today's session. We saw how grassroots innovations, like agroforestry, biovillages, rainwater harvesting, and ICT applications, are contributing to sustainable rural development. In our next session, we'll start Unit 16, Planning for Sustainable Development. We'll learn how proper planning, at local, regional, and national levels, can help manage our resources better, reduce poverty, and promote long-term sustainability.